Thank you to Intel for being a sponsor for today's video. Get next generation performance for everything that you do with the 13th gen Intel Core processors, especially built for gamers looking to maximize their performance for the latest games, while also having capabilities to tackle recording, streaming, and editing workloads. The 13th gen Intel Core processor-based PCs make it all possible. Are you new to fighting games or just want to brush up on your knowledge? Well, guess what? We got something for you. We will be explaining basic fighting game terms in our own words, help you get caught up. Class is in session. Let's begin the lesson.
It's hard. Like, I feel like Footsies is really hard to explain.
Footsies! Footsies!
Let's say you're Ryu and you press crouching medium kick, and you're trying to throw that crouching medium kick to the point where like the move itself does not miss, or your opponent walks into it. You're walking back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and you're making sure like that button right there that you press while you're going back and forth is going to connect. A lot of people don't have footsies, just straight up low key. A lot of people don't have footsies. I'm gonna just be honest with you.
How dare you!
So a combo, really simply, is a chain of hits that your opponent cannot do anything about, and it is, guaranteed damage, essentially. It shows up on the side of the screen typically of like, oh my god, that was a 4-hit combo. Obviously, the harder combos are a little bit tighter to execute. There are some very easy combos that have a lot of leniency, and then there are combos that you need to execute it absolutely perfectly in order to get anything. So definitely learning your basics of combos from the tutorials and stuff like that is a great place to start, and once you understand your moves, you can definitely look at streamers or top-level players and kind of understand the moves they're using, the timings they're using, and that's basically how you'll get started on learning your bigger and better combos. But again, start small.
So let's say you throw out a punch and a kick, and that punch is plus, and then in between the next hit, if they've hit a button in between, well, it counter hit.
The objective is to get the opponent to say, hey, I want to take my turn back. This whole blocking thing, it just ain't for me. So I am simply, in my disadvantage, try to weasel my way out of this situation. But you, a frame trap gives you enough advantage to where your next move will beat out just about anything your opponent tries to counter with. But frame traps allow you to punish your opponent for pressing, or continue pressure, or deliver the mind game where they're looking for one follow-up because you've conditioned them, and then you go for another.
I remember seeing this word when I was a kid.
I don't know where this term came from. I never used the word Oki. Like, I know people use Oki all the time.
Oki is basically your offense that you're enforcing, and your setups or whatever you want to do next while your opponent is on the ground and recovering.
If you block specific moves, you will actually take a little bit of damage. Obviously, not as much damage as getting hit by the move, and certain moves don't even do chip damage in the games that have chip damage, but chip damage essentially is blocking a move and still getting hit for like, a tiny little bit of damage.
Ever been to the circus? Sure you have.
And you know how you throw the ball in the air and you keep just like smacking it up over and over and over again? You want to make sure you can keep that juggle as long as possible before like messing up or dropping the bowling pins, for example. Once you launch the opponent in the air, they're in a state where they get hit, right? It's the juggle state, and you just can't defend it. The only way you could defend it is if I drop the combo.
It is the only thing that matters. It is the gift that whatever higher being you believe in bless the cannons with right there.
Easiest way to put this one is it's beautiful. It's what we want. It's what you need.
It's something that Smash unfortunately does not have.
Bro, I feel like nobody gets this answer right, because delay base is pretty much you're playing underwater. You know how if you swing a punch underwater versus you're swinging a punch like naturally, the underwater punch takes way longer. The higher the delay, meaning the farther your opponent or the worse the connection is, the slower is when you press a button, right? The button will come out like this. Let's say I press crouching medium kick with Ryu. When the game registers the crouching medium kick, they do a specific sequences of what's the next move happens. They pretty much foretell the future, and like it's like a timeline, right? The timeline goes this way, that way, that way. Once you implement the specific move, the game will automatically go to that timeline specifically, which makes the netcode really, really good, and there's no delay in that point. Let's say you press a button, and and the game just kind of accidentally chose the wrong timeline. Then you'll visually be able to see that your opponent got hit, and then right away they're blocking. The opponent did block, but the game just chose the wrong option. That's why they call it rollback. If the game chooses the wrong timeline when it didn't happen, then the game will roll back into the person just blocking or being somewhere else on the screen or actually doing a specific action.
Probably know what cancel is from like other games, right? So you can cancel this move into another move. You're doing one move into another move. One move is already out.
Certain moves are special cancelable, certain moves are not. This also exists in Smash for the fighting game characters, which is very nice. But yeah, it's basically just, canceling the end of a move's animation with something else.
We're gonna look at this from the eyes of the defender. It's a situation where you simply have to guess whether left, right, overhead low, grab, no grab, whatever. 50-50 is a situation where skill is removed, and in this point, you simply have to guess. Fighting games are fun.
Say Magneto's hitting you with like an infinite juggle, but it's not doing enough damage. So eventually they use this technique. You drop the combo on purpose. I'm juggling you, boom, 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 boom. And then I drop the combo on purpose and I go under you to the other side and then go low. So people do resets to kill the opponent faster.
There's obviously resets and like American resets where you drop combos and then we just, oh yeah, I meant to do that when we pick them up.
Matches with no stake in them. At a tournament, you're just playing not in the tournament with someone or online with someone. Again, not in a tournament. Literally all it is a non-tournament game.
When you play a character like Kitana historically, anti-airs are moves that simply anti-air attacks. Whether that be jump-ins, any kind of like teleports that leave them in the air, any setups, anything that's coming from the air that can be hit. It's a very strong tool, and one you should adapt into your gameplay regardless of the game you play. There are jumpers everywhere. I promise you there's a new wave, and in 2023 we're getting Street Fighter, we're likely getting Tekken, we're likely getting Mortal Kombat 12. So many new players, and you know what new players like to do? They jump, they're bunny rabbits, that's all they do. They don't know how to move forward anymore. Make sure you know how to anti-air, all right?
Special moves is done by doing a quarter circle forward, something with a joystick and a button at the same time. For use case, if you hit down, forward, and you press punch, you'll get Hadouken.
Light buttons or buttons that don't really lead into much. They're just trying to claim some space, trying to keep people out. Long distance relationship sort of thing.
This is part of Footsies, right? Is using your long range moves to hit your opponent when they are in your range, but you're not trying to combo off of them. You're just trying to keep them at bay and just slowly get damage over time and kind of frustrate them so that way they dash in or jump and you can get bigger combo starters then.
They're asking some heavy hitting questions. Neutral is so big. Obviously, everyone starts at neutral in round one fight. Let's say we're using the grid, the training stage as an example, right? And there's this giant line in the middle. Your goal in neutral is to make sure that you're winning at this tug of war. If you're getting pushed back and your back is against the wall, think of that as like you lost the tug of war and you lost the neutral. But if you're able to push somebody back all the way to the wall, or you notice somebody that just likes to walk themselves back in the wall, that means they're very bad at neutral. That means they're giving up neutral automatically, and then you have all that space to walk back to use for your poking and footsie advantage.
When you block something, you are in what's considered block stun, and you have a certain amount of frames before you can do any action. If you do a special move on the first frame out of said block stun, you get a reversal. If you do that out of hit stun, or knockdown I should say, the first frame that you're active again after your character raises off the ground, reversal.
An EX move is a special move, but typically used with meter. It takes meter, whatever meter you have in your game, and then it gives the move either more properties or more damage or more hits or a different state of knockdown or something like that. So it's basically just a special version of your special move.
Usually the bar at the bottom, sometimes at the top, but that bar is utilized for those EX moves. Sometimes utilized for defensive things too as well if you look at Guilty Gear. So that meter can be used for EX moves that we just talked about.
A game mechanic, depending on the game, where if you tap forward, like direction, forward, or back in the air, your opponent will just kind of like do a little dash or a back air dash, right?
Happy birthday is a wonderful term coined by the GOATs over there in the Marvel community. When you catch the assist who's incoming to do a move to help their point character, if you hit both of them at the same time and you are comboing them, that is known as a happy birthday.
So grabs beat block. Command grabs are basically special versions of grabs that either do more damage and or have a better state of knockdown, or they cannot be broken. But you cannot do that to a command grab. Command grabs, if you got hit, you're getting hit. There's no way to get out of it.
A confirm or a hit confirm is when you hit a button at the right time into something else. That's a confirm. For example, if you're a Shoto player, a crouching medium kick into a fireball or DP, that's a confirm. You're trying to confirm that that button hit. You're trying to confirm and make sure that that button hit to go in the next one.
OTG stands for off the ground. And what that means is that when you knock somebody down from like an air combo situation, some moves have properties where you can pick your opponent up off the ground and you continue to combo from there.
Did we just talk about that? I alluded to it. I didn't even know this was gonna be on here.
Hey, which one of y'all stole my curriculum? Hey, you know I talked about this earlier. This was supposed to be on the extra credit. I'm on to y'all.
An American reset is when we are in the middle of a combo, especially a game-winning combo, and we drop that. Time slows down. We start sweating. We start getting nervous. The crowd gasps, but somehow we mash, and somehow we get that next hit. And the commentators are like, oh my God, what a cool reset. And in our minds, we know that we dropped that.
There's so much to learn. The, immense amount of information you have to learn when you want to play a fighting game or really get serious about it is incredibly high.
Let me know what your favorite FGC term is in the comment section below, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.